Hi. You know what? Today we are back after almost 2 weeks off, and happy Friday day to everybody. And I hope everyone can hear me actually. Let me check my audio before I start. Da, 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 da. Let me just give everyone a minute to join. I hope everyone can hear me. And can't hear anything. Hi. Hi. Okay. Anyway, I'm the only one logged in here. So last time my sister complained that I wasn't responding to her. I've got the greatest audience ever. I've got my family, the greatest audience anyone could ask for really. And I've got, of course, my sisters. And I am back. We took time out and we're back. I had the last 2 weeks I've been busy. Like a lot has been going on at work and in life. I was busy preparing a lot of things, my research proposal for my PhD, like it says in my title. So today we're going to talk about that. So anyway, now that I'm the only one here, let's see if I could message anybody. No, it's okay. So anyway, here we go. Let's start. So sometimes I feel like God takes you into a season where He asks you to just slow down, which is something that we've spoken about in the past. We've spoken about slowing down, we spoke about reset and how I manage those seasons, and we spoke about preparation. So sometimes God takes you through those seasons to slow down, to reset, and to prepare, not because your life is falling apart, but because he's sort of building the discipline you need for your next level. And that is exactly the season I believe I'm in right now. So today I just want to talk about counting your blessings. Counting your blessings, building a routine, and preparing for the next chapter of life. And that's why tomorrow I'm starting 75 hard. I don't know if you guys know or heard of it. Let me just Google it because I think it's on my R 75 hard. And I'll talk about 75 hard as we go. So that's why tomorrow I'm starting 75 hard, and I know my family is gonna give me a head on this. So I'm starting with someone I'm gonna put on a blast. Me and Joanne, we decided we're gonna start 75 hard before the wedding, and it's one of a good way of building discipline really. And with the title that I've put out today about journeying towards my PhD, it needs discipline, it needs preparation, and I need to learn how to discipline myself. So I'm going to do that in 75 days, and I'll talk about it as we go. So welcome everybody, welcome to Lifted Voices with Fifi. I am Fifi, and this is like sort of the space where we talk about faith, where we talk about purpose, where we talk about leadership and personal growth. But today's conversation is very practical, really. It's because I think prayer is not just it's not just about faith. Faith is also about, the preparation we do, the discipline we build, the stewardship of life. And sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is to get your life in order. And that is something a lot of us overlook when we talk about faith and spirituality. We were looking to, okay, how much of Bible reading can I do? How much of this and that can I do? And and before we go much into this, I just want to share some really good news and some exciting news I had this week. This week has been a lot, and that's why last week I could not do the video. It was just a lot of preparation, a lot of work I've been doing at work and in my personal work. With Lifted, there's so much work that I have to do, and a lot of support that I've been getting from people, and who's just been so, like, God really truly knows how to send right people at the right time. And meeting up with some friends to just draw up on what is the way forward. We build ideas, meeting like-minded people and talk about life, and visiting my friends. I also, in between time, I had time to spend with Joan and Marcia, which has been really special for me. And I also realized that I haven't met Marcia in a long time, so I was so glad, I was so happy that we had a few days of just catching up, building up on life, sharing ideas, growth, and seeing what is next, what God has put in our lives, which way God is directing us, and just sharing ideas. So I've been busy the last 2 weeks, and I hope my audio is loud enough because I am not going to increase it anymore. Otherwise, it'll be so loud in here. Um, so anyway, just about counting your blessings. I the last few years, I've been talking around growth and how to build yourself. And I remember I've been getting a lot of really, really, really good messages from people, and I think about counting blessings, uh, just giving gratitude to God. And this week, I spent so much time reflecting on something simple but powerful to me, which is gratitude. And because when life becomes so busy, it is easy to focus on what is missing rather than what God has already done. And I have a lot of reflection to do, and I have a lot of sharing around gratitude, and I just don't know how to put it all together. And I know I'll be yapping for hours if I can talk all about it, but I, you know, when you just take time out and just count your blessing, you start noticing things like, what God has already done, what is already working in your life, way long before the breakthrough arrives. And when we go to the Bible in First Thessalonians 5:18, it says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Give thanks in all circumstances. And I feel like that's something that I did in my season of preparation, in my season of reset. I just learned how to live in a world of gratitude, just thanking God for everything. So it's very, very important to always give thanks to God in all seasons. And this is something that I've learned through my morning prayer. I have a set of prayers that I do first thing in the morning. And it took me time to be able to stop touching my phone as a first thing as soon as I wake up. Because before, I used to wake up, open my phone, browse through, and see what is there, and then start my prayers. Over time, as I was building that, and then I learned to just have my watch on, or have my watch next to me. First thing, I look at the clock, and then I start my prayers before I touch my phone. Even though I was praying sometimes even with my phone or using my phone for prayers, it's something that I learned over time to, the first thing, just communicate with Jesus, thank God for the day, for the blessing, and bless my day before I step into it. And this is something that I learned, and this is something that I've been doing in the last 2 years. So it's not like an overnight thing, but I'm so grateful. And in my reflection, there are a few things that I want to share. And I've got um I've got some few messages also, which has been really touching to me. And I'm so grateful to God for just having to hear such. I don't know if I can access my what's from here. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So that was that. So I just want to thank God for those seasons and time. I feel like I can access my WhatsApp from here. So my week. I want to share my blessings from this week, what God has really done for me this week. And I know there is so much things. And I'm a very private with I know I talk a lot, I share a lot, but there are things that are very sacred to me. But I feel like I'm in a journey. This is why I don't like opening my phone. My cousins are just messaging. Um, I like there are things that I just want to share to just show how much God can do for us when we put ourselves into His hands, when we trust Him, and when we allow Him to guide and lead us. Sometimes we find ourselves with we feel like our struggle sometimes overtakes our lives, and then we forget the things that God is doing for us in season and time. And I feel like I have so much to share that God has done for me, but I try not to sound like it's being boastful or anything, but just pure gratitude toward God. And to start off, for this week, dun, 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 dun. I don't know if you can read this. The Commonwealth Day service or celebration. You know, growing up, even though I grew up here in UK, growing up, we always used to watch like when there's a royal family wedding, when there is the Commonwealth Day service, or all these big events with the royal family they do at the Westminster Abbey. It's massive. The Abbey is beautiful. It's massive, and I always used to watch like so many people going in there all dressed up and everything. Never, never in this lifetime have I ever thought that it will be me in those rooms. Like, never. Or anybody that I know would be in those rooms, because little me from a village in Sanyati in Zimbabwe in the middle of nowhere wouldn't ever thought and dream of something like that. And this is why we shouldn't limit God when it comes to our dreams, because I don't know, my Bible is next to my to my bed, but my Bible cover is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you. He has plans for us to prosper, for us to grow, for us to do better. His plans are way bigger than our plans. So I feel like the things that have been going on in my life a lot lately, especially in the last year, has been so overwhelming. Actually, on the 1st of April, I'm literally gonna do like just a gratitude episode, because I feel like that's the anniversary of my breakthrough. Like, so much has happened because of the events that took place on the 1st of April last year, and I feel like I realized the direction of my life because of the things that took place on that day. So, yeah, so first of all, I end up in a place where I thought this was not me. I went to the royal family. I was invited. I had my little invite card. I don't have it. I had the card. I had the African wear. I dressed up. I showed up, and we were sitting behind the royal family because obviously we're part of the Commonwealth family as well. And it was just, I was so moved, so touched, so emotional at the same time, and so overwhelmed that, is this me? And I feel like the reason why I want to start talking about the way God has blessed me, and the reason why I want to start talking about my journey to where I am, where I am heading, because like even today with my title about my journey towards my PhD, I didn't want to talk about it until I started, until I'm confirmed, I got funds and everything. But I thought, you know what, my goal is to support young people. And my so if you want to be that guidance to someone, you need to be visible, you need to be transparent, which is something I'm not really good at. I feel like as loud as I am, I'm a very private person with my personal, and so I'm trying to change because I want someone to see that God can do anything. God can change you into anything that He wants. And you just have to lean onto Him. You just have to have a dialogue with Him. You just have to let Him know what you need. Dream big. Dream big. My cousin always say, you know, aim for the sky. The clouds will cushion you. Oh, the world is an oyster, you know. So things like that. Let us not limit ourselves because of our circumstance, our environment. There is so much that God can do in our lives. And this is why, and it's so important for us to talk, to share, because I feel like in the journey that we go through in life, it's something that we shouldn't go alone. And I'm so overwhelmed with the support, with the love that I've been getting from my family, from my friends, from those around me, from those that I've met, you know, my sisters in faith, my brothers in faith. It's just been a growth, a growth, a really, really impressive growth. And I just want to share things that the messages I've been getting, and this one really touched me the most. I thought I should talk about this message first from one of my dad's siblings. Where did she send it? I think I have too many messages, that's why. Yeah, you know, like the support I've been getting from people from my family, it just wants me to do more. It pushes me to want to do better. And I feel like this is the importance of being positive with life. So it's a bit mixed with my language, so I don't know if I'm good at translating. So when I went to the Commonwealth Day, I posted picture, and one of my auntie, bless her heart, this touched me. Was this auntie is one of those people who grew up with my dad, who knew my dad personally, and to me it's like getting I felt when I was so emotional, and I think I'm not being emotional, but I'm not gonna cry about it because I felt like that was just my father talking to me, just being so proud of me. And like I said, I'm not gonna cry. I had no intentions of crying. It just so she grew up with my dad, so they know each other so well. So and this is someone who generally doesn't just drop message here and there. You know, my family is very well together, but this really touched me because this is the first time getting something like this from her. So she messages like in rooms they never imagined they'll find you. Mwana wanjadzi yangu means a child of my brother. Your parents would be over the moon, and I believe them. And God has a lot of eyes and arms are on you. Then there is us here on earth. Trukdad and Neo, we are so happy with you. Keep on going. Oh, yeah. So for someone who grew up so close with my dad, who played with my dad since young age to this, that really touched me. And then I had my cousins and my friends sending a lot of encouraging messages saying, we're so happy with you. We feel well presented. We're so happy with the journey you're on, where you come from, where you are. So things like that just gives you energy to do more. And then, because today, the title of today, as you can see, we're talking about discipline towards something, towards, like I said, I didn't want to talk about my journey towards my PhD until I started, but I feel like if I have someone who can be encouraged, someone who can be helped, especially young people, because my dissertation will be on my thesis or my dissertation for my master's. It was how to integrate young people into the society, you know, from the economical point of view and from political point of view. how to make them be part of the community. So that's what I write about on my dissertation for my master's. And to move forward to my PhD, I'm also going to write on equal opportunities for young Black women. So I feel like I have a responsibility to talk about those things if I am going to dedicate my life to make sure that young people are getting access to education, they're supported into these spaces. So, like I said, I start with gratitude, where God has taken me so far, and I believe that God can do that for all of us. For all of us, we have to fight for the things that God gave us strength. He never said you're just gonna walk through every room and everything is perfect. He gives you those chance to grow. He gives you room and space to grow, to fight through those, and don't give up. Just don't give up. I had so many reasons to give up on life. I feel like my growth happened when I was at my lowest because I crashed 20 the way my year in 2023 ended, it truly, I felt like it truly would have ended me as a person. And I've never felt so lonely. I've never felt so lost. Never, since my grandmother died, I think that was the first time I truly felt like I'm an orphan, I'm alone, I have nobody. And I was so sick. I looked so sick. And my family, they were sick. No one knew how to help me because I also didn't know how to help me. But one thing I did, I started thanking God in my worst moments. And there's nothing greater than doing that. We need to thank God in all circumstances, in everything that we do, in everything that we go through. And that's why I truly love this scripture. Give thanks in all circumstances. Gratitude is very important, but it also must be accompanied with discipline, which is something that I'm still learning, something that I'm still building, because I try. I personally think that now I'm in a different position to where I was 2 years ago. So I feel like the next level of life truly requires a stronger version of you, because I feel like I've seen a lot of Christians, a lot of young people who just think that if I ask for a miracle, if I go, God help me with this, if I go to this priest and they give me this message, then all is well. No, discipline, it needs the stronger vision of you to go to the next level. And that's what I had to do in coming into this season where I feel like my breakthrough season is come, where I feel like my growth season and expansion season is come, is because I had to put that in place. And having that in place, I feel like I now have a more focused mind, a better routine, and I now have this sort of ability to just stay consistent even when I feel like motivation has disappeared, which is fairly normal for every human being, really. And because, like in my title is saying, I'm trying now to journey towards my PhD, which I don't know if I'll get the fund this year, but if not, if I don't get the fund, I'll defer my thing to next year. So this is why I'm gonna call out a friend. This is why me and Joan, we decided we're starting 75 hard tomorrow. So, for those who are not familiar with 75 hard, my cousin is doing this, and I know if she see this video, I'm not gonna hear the end of it. So, for those who are not familiar with 75 hard, it's 75-day discipline challenge, which is sort of designed to build mental toughness, and it involves daily habits like workout, reading. Like you have to do two workouts a day, and they have to be 3 hours apart. You have to do one of those workout outdoors. I'm not an outdoor person, like I don't go outside. So I feel like that is something that I have to learn. I have a gym downstairs in my house. I've only been there once for 10 minutes, and I'm paying rent, so why am I not using it? Yeah, so I think those things just, I think health as well, it really matters. So it's about discipline, but it helps with your health, it helps your diet, it just helps you with how to plan your day. And it gives you to have a clear mind and to have that motivation and consistency in your life. So, and you have to do it without compromising. So you don't have cheat days, the way you eat and everything, which is something I've tried to do in the last few months. I think this year, to tell the truth, I have changed in terms of what I eat and everything. I'm trying to eat clean as well. So uh, I, for this challenge, so it's really is about building discipline, and the way I'm heading, according to my title today, I'm heading, like I'm preparing for my PhD, which I hope if I get funding, it'll be this year. If not, it'll be next year. So like as I said, I'm already like preparing for the next academic chapter of my life, which is pursuing my PhD studies. And for those who've done serious research, you know how important a PhD, how important it is. PhD is not like just about intelligence or anything. It's about discipline and endurance. And that's why I'm trying to prepare myself into this before I put myself deep into something that I can't do. And sort of where you have to sit long years with the same ideas, and you have to do a lot of reading. You have to be consistent with how you do things, and it requires routine. So that is something that I want to work and build on what I've already started, where I am today. And I so in just a brief background of what I've been doing lately, I've been reaching out to supervisor. For PhD, you can't just apply to the university and all is done. So I've been reaching out to supervisor, and I got some good feedbacks. Like, when God just make things works out, and He surely does. And I'm so grateful and beyond, because today I got two feedbacks back, and one of them, I feel like they were very encouraging. They were so impressed with my background. Obviously, I do have a lot of work, and especially around my work on intersection of policy and research, which also will be very helpful towards my PhD. And they also encouraged me to continue developing like my proposal to make it more stronger. And they gave me advices on how to do that to make sure that I get funding, because like if you tweak it here and there, you can get funding. And I'm so grateful for people who actually take time out to support and to help. And I feel like hearing that reminded me that sometimes God places people in your path to confirm that you're moving in the right direction. And that is exactly what I needed. And in the midst of all the doubts that I had and everything, and to tell the truth, like today, I feel like I have so much to be grateful for. I had a lot of meeting, I had a lot of reviews, one-to-ones, when you're having one-to-ones, not to managers, people out there, directors. I had my directors, my senior director, one-to-one meeting today. So I was just so nervous. And while I was nervous, literally as soon as I finished my one-to-one, I saw my emails, I opened my emails, and I'm seeing those feedbacks coming in, and I realized that God is on it. God knows what He's doing, and I'm on the right track. He just has a way of confirming that I'm on the right track, which is something that I'm truly grateful. But, you know, I feel like these feedbacks was sort of some kind of blessing, because they sort of helped me have a bigger vision beyond of what I was doing. They helped me to reshape things, which I'm beyond grateful. So if you're young and you're watching this video, here's something that I want you to understand. Preparation season matters, and God can open doors, but you must prepare yourself to walk through them. you must prepare yourself to walk through them, because we shouldn't have expectation that God is going to do something and it's just going to fall on my lap without me doing any work. Why? Because I've gone to someone, I asked for advice, I've asked for prayers, I've asked for this, all those that can help you to strengthen you in the journey where you are. But your preparation, it really does make a massive difference, and that is something that you should take serious and never compromise with. And um, so that is one thing that I've been so happy and grateful, so that God is just helping to open all these doors. And this season of preparation, I feel like I'm getting the confirmation that I needed, the when you're nervous about something and you doubt yourself, you don't think you can do it, you're capable. And then you have people and you're like, okay, my family, they do this all the time. I'm used to it. But then when you have beyond that, when you have in your prayers, you get confirmation, like in the morning when I was praying today, like it's just there's so much that happens that you don't think that it connects until when you start reflecting on it at the end of your day, you're like, wow. That's why today I did this video, because to tell the truth, that I just had a lot going on and I still got work to do. But I thought I'm just gonna share like how grateful I am to what God is doing in this season and time. So one thing I truly believe is that God prepares people before He promotes them. So if you find yourself in this season where life sort of feels slower, quieter, or more disciplined than before, maybe that is God preparing you. So tomorrow will be my first day where I begin day one of 75 hard for me. So I feel like in this season where I'm entering season of discipline, season of gratitude and preparation towards my long journey with my PhD, I I will share this journey with you along the way. And I just want to encourage someone. I don't know if you have something that you're struggling with, and if you have something that you want us to talk about, I am more than open. You can message me. I know a lot of messages I still haven't replied. In those few I have replied, I've been very slow, but I will get back to you. So let us journey together with lifted voices with Fifi. And I just want to pray for you. I just want to encourage you to reach your fullest potential and allow God to do that journey with God. Make prayer your habit and build a discipline, you know, have a discipline day-to-day life. For me, I have my app called The Habit, where even water, how many liters of water a day I drink, I tick. I've done my morning prayer, I tick. It's like an app where you set up your daily goals and then you just tick them off. Like, I think having living on my own for the first time in years, um, I feel like I've learned to start doing things like even my finances. I've got a whole spreadsheet. I know to a penny of what I pay each month. If I go over this month, what caused it, and things like that. So that discipline, I have long-term financial goals, and I have long-term academic goals. I have long-term career goals. I know what I have, and I've timetabled all of that, and I've made a sort of my charts, my points where I wanted to take it, and I give it to God every day. Every day, as soon as I wake up, we discuss those plans with God. Every day when I sleep, before I sleep, we talk with God. We go through our day-to-day plan on my app, and I even tell God, today I failed to drink my 2 liters. Like today, I'm just finishing my my first liter. And as part of my 75 hard, you also have to read 10 pages of a book. So I'm gonna start this book called Sold by Patricia McCormick. So I have a friend of mine, Jenna from uni. She's done a book review on this book, and she's the one who made me buy this. So I now have this as part of my discipline journey for the next 75 days. This is gonna be the book I'll be reading 10 pages a day. So I started reading it before my 75 hard when she did a book review I bought. So I'm already on page 71. I don't know, you can't see that. So I'm already on 71. So book around discipline, it doesn't have to be anything. It could be anything. It could be you rather need those motivational books or spiritual books. I have a collection of spiritual books that I have that, but most of them I've gone through them. But as I'm heading towards my PhD now, I probably need to start reading my books towards my subject. Obviously, I'm gonna be talking around uh, global political economy and how that affects young Black women. So I need to look around uh, inequality in terms of global political economy, IR, and how we can support and help young people, and how I'm gonna put all that together. So I'm guessing this journey of 75 hard is also going to help me to do more research before then, and it will help me how to keep on doing the readings. So this is what I say before in the past when I talk about how our day-to-day life, our spiritual life, and our day-to-day life, they go hand in hand. How we live, how we do, God is a God of discipline. He is a God of plans who has everything planned out for us. And we also need to be accustomed to what God has plans for us. And we also need to have that awareness and ask God, show me the way, teach me what is the direction of my life. I need to know. And then when you do, you need to learn how to navigate that. You need to build um a discipline on how to carry out that life, because says the scriptures tells us we are the reflection of Christ. So how I live my life, people think that living the life that God has built you up for is to be in the church, preaching, singing, um I don't know, being these big figures in the religious. It's not just that. God has a call for all of us. Like I always like quoting saints. So Saint Teresa of Avila said, Christ has no body on earth, no hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes to see compassion of the world. Yours are the feet to walk and do good. Yours are the hands to bless the world. So if you are the hand, do the job of the hand. If you are the feet, go and do the job of the feet. If you are the eyes, go and see the world with compassion. So God has just programmed us so different. So we need to be disciplined in the place that God has put us, in what He has entrusted us to do, because that just doesn't come just because we want it to. And if it does, do not lose and let your blessing pass you, because you're not disciplined to carry that call that God has called you. And I feel like this is something that even though having been in a ministry for so many years full time, I feel like those are the things that you don't get taught, whether in ministry or in the church. I've been for my classes, for my catechism and all those things in the church. I grew up in the church, and all those things, it's not something that you are taught, but it's something that you have to build over time with your relationship with God. So when you build that, ask God to build you with discipline. Discipline takes you far. Why? Because once you dress yourself into the person that God has called you to, and you have awareness, and you build you've taught yourself how to live that day to day, because this is a commitment, this is a lifetime commitment to be an image of Christ to the people around you. Like the same thing I love doing, and I do this even in my workplace. I am the person that I am even when I'm inside the house, because I realize I don't have to have a work personality. I don't have to have a home personality. I don't have to have a personality with my friends. This is why I feel like in my transformation season, I kept few friends from the past. those who believed that there is more out of Phyllis. I kept only those few, and then I moved forward with those friends who don't have to see that, oh, you shouldn't be like this. No. Why? Because I want to be able to be around my friends and be the same person I could be when I'm in the church, the same person I could be when I'm at work, because I feel like the world and the life that God has built me into, it all connects. It truly all connects. And I need to be able to reflect his image to those places. So when I go to work, I have no fear of sharing my beliefs. I have no fear of telling people that, oh, I'm going to take my lunch break. I'm going for mass. When I come back and share what was said in the mass, I think they're sort of used to it. Some of my colleagues are Muslims, but they got used to it because they just realized that, you know what, this is a personality. But you know what, we like her for the personality because I am what I am, and there's no change in who I am there, even when I'm at home. So we need to learn not to have this outside world, because the world would take you and change you into something that God has not called you to become. And this is where we're losing a lot of leaders in the world, the leaders in the world. We see what's going on in the world today, including the leaders in the church. Why? Because we're building these personas and these images that pleases everybody around. I've seen a lot of leaders becoming puppets of what is around them in the church and in the world. I don't want to be politically incorrect or correct, but we can look at an example that is going on in the Middle East, what is going on in the US, and all those things, including all of our countries, really. I'm from Zimbabwe, so who am I to judge? But anyway, when we look at those things and how the influence of others really truly is taking a lot of good people away from their calling, away from their good leadership. So we need to stand on the person that God has called each one of us to be. And we all have a duty to build ourselves. And when you are disciplined, this is why in this Lent season, I love this season. I love the scene of Jesus and Satan just before the death of Jesus, when Satan comes and he found Jesus at his lowest, and he tried to tempt him with the things of the world. I know you're hungry. I can multiply this. I can give you this. That's what the enemy does. He comes in exchange with things that only can make us happy for a short while, but not things that are long term. And a lot of us are not willing to take through that pain of saying, you know what, I'm going to struggle for a while, but all is going to be well. All I need to do is hold on to the hem of the garment of Jesus. That is where a lot of us are lost along the way. I know intention of talking for this long. And I know, oh, thank you to the 4 people who have joined. But I'm probably gonna try and wind up, because if I continue talking, I can talk for the whole world. But anyway, I'm gonna move over to TikTok. So I started my first TikTok live last week. I don't know how you went, but I'm not really good with TikTok, because it's like TikTok is more interactive and things like that. So I don't know. But I feel like with the messaging that I've been putting out there, especially on TikTok, I've been doing a lot of short messaging there. I feel like God has called me to reach out to young people, and we have a duty to understand and to learn how you can do that. And I take that upon myself. Like I said, my words, my spiritual world, my day-to-day life, and my professional life, they really, like, God surely knew what he was doing when he put me in this position. He made sure that uh, my job, it has to do with young people, it has to do with health, it has to do with education, it has to do with how to be part of the community. And then he made sure that in my spiritual life, I also care so much about what happens to young people. And then in my own world, in my own foundation with Lifted, we also support young people. We also care and really are invested in the growth of the young people. And that's why I am always happy to learn on the way young people works and which direction God is leading them and guiding them. And I'm free and open to talk about that because I feel like we have a duty to do. And from where I come from in Zimbabwe, the the highest population in Zimbabwe, it's over 60% is young people. So we do have a duty to make sure that our young people are guided in truth. In truth, I feel like, and this is something that I've sort of communicated with some of my family members, and when I say there are certain things that I can't compromise on, and some were like, oh, but then the world is like this, you can't just change someone only because this is what you think. I say no, because when we look in the book of Leviticus, the Bible doesn't tell us that there's a gray area. It says it's either black or white. There's no in between. There's no gray area. So it's either right or wrong, black or white. There's nothing in between. So we need to learn, and we need to pull a lot of young people to know what is right for them and what is not, because the world isn't doing so. And it is our duty to do that. So anyway, I thank everybody who have joined, who has hold on for the last 45 minutes of me blabbering to myself. And if you have any questions, if you have any topic you want us to discuss or concerns, send me a message. And I thank everybody who has been doing so. And and someone who also asked me to talk about where my journey, I know we'll slowly get there. I know I do sort of get out of, and I'll end up talking about something that I had no plans of talking on, but I just talk about anything that I'm inspired in the moment. And that's what I did today when I was working, and I was just thinking about what was just happening right in front of me, all these things that were coming through. And I thought, you know what, I just want to thank God. But at the same time, I need to share. That is very important. To be disciplined is very important. To journey with God in everything that you do, and to live your truth. To live your truth. I tell you, there's nothing better in this world. I've suffered in my life, in the places that I've been, where I tried to live my truth and the world was not accepting my truth. And I said, I mean no harm, but you can't change me for my truth. And because of my truth, I struggled for it, because then the world doesn't have to accept your truth. But if you live according to your truth, you will gain something much bigger than the world, which is heaven. And there's nothing more important than the joy of our Heavenly Father, than the joy of the world. So we'll end the yapping here. If inspired, and if anyone has anything that they want me to talk about, probably I might do another one tomorrow or Sunday. Just send me a message on my DM. Just DM me anything that you want us to talk about. We might do another one tomorrow, but we don't know. Anyway, thank you very much, and please follow me on Lifted Voices with Fifi. We do live whenever we can, and I pray for you and you pray for me. And